And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We have a great show for you today. As always, Takes by Fans is live daily. Now, if you want to watch live, then you can go to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, you can go to our YouTube channel. After every show, we upload the video to YouTube the same day. Now, if you want to just listen and not watch, then you can go to podcasting apps. We are on Spotify and Anchor right now. So if you want to watch, if you want to listen, it's going to be at Takes by Fans, wherever you want to watch and listen, folks. So we are here daily, and the name is Takes by Fans. Alrighty, today is Sunday, right before kickoff. We are coming at you live, noon Eastern, like always, and we're going to go up pretty much until 1 o'clock, just giving our final thoughts and what we think is going to happen. We've been talking all week, so this is the show that I like to just kind of get everything out that we think is going to happen, what we've been saying, the main points, the main focus, the main bets, the best bets, maybe last-second bets. We squeeze them all into the show today. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. We are 59 minutes away from kickoff, so we got to squeeze it in. Alrighty, two stories that we need to kind of cover, just not even real stories, but just kind of refreshers. Alrighty, Teddy Bridgewater, it's been going back and forth if he's actually active or inactive. He was activated, but then they deactivated him. This is all going on in the last half hour, but the main story is Teddy Bridgewater is not going to be playing today, and that's kind of something that we've been tracking all week. We knew Christian McCaffrey was going to be out, definitely, but Teddy Bridgewater was kind of up in the air whether he was going to be good to go. Early in the week, it kind of like first take was like, yes, he is going to play, and then maybe in the middle of the week it kind of shifted to he's not playing, and then today is officially that he's not playing. So Teddy Bridgewater is not going to be playing. This is why we kind of told you kind of wait to bet this Panthers game, because it was just so indecisive. Were they going to actually play or not? They're facing the Lions, and they have a lot of offensive players out, so we'll see what the official line is in just a second when we refresh the lines, but Teddy Bridgewater is not going. This is now the time to bet, now that you have all the information. Lions are very underwhelming offensively. Panthers are very underwhelming offensively with so many pieces out as well. So Teddy Bridgewater not playing. Now we've got the full story. And then secondly, here's a quote. There are, quote, still multiple players and people within the Saints who think Jameis Winston should have been named the starter this week over Taysom Hill. Now, we just watched Taysom Hill yesterday, and it was, it was okay. We saw the completion percentage, and those were never good. The arm, he does have a big arm if he can get it down there. We are going to have to keep track of the accuracy, though, kind of in a game, like in a main NFL game scenario, because we haven't seen Taysom Hill play like a full NFL game. Yes, we've seen him in college and in preseason and some few snaps here, some gadget plays, and they always seem to work because the man is quick and the man is definitely a dual threat quarterback, absolutely. But how is he going to fare in an entire game situation where he's starting from the first drive to the last drive? He has to go out and be consistent and put up all the points himself. He can't pass it to himself. He can't have the ball passed to him. He's going to have to be the one distributing the ball. So in that aspect, I can definitely get behind these Saints players and people that are saying that Jameis Winston should be starting. He's got a lot more experience. He knows how to win games. He knows how to score. He knows how to be competitive. He also knows how to turn the ball over. That's the one knock on him. We all know. But yeah, so real kind of curious decision. There had to be something that probably went in practice that Sean Payton just didn't like. Maybe Jameis Winston just wasn't looking sharp, and we can't put that past him because we saw what he did in the second half of the game last week. The man was just not good. It's unfortunate they got into the red zone. They had multiple attempts in the red zone. We're talking about, 6-7 plays where they're in the red zone, in the 10-yard line, and they can't punch it in. And Jameis Winston, he was throwing the ball down there in the red zone. It's just he was not making great reads, or he wasn't, passing very well. It was no balls were even catchable down in the red zone. Now, is that miscommunication with the receivers? Now we have to find out who has the miscommunication. Is it going to be the receivers who's been actually playing all 9 weeks with Drew Brees, a great quarterback, or is it going to be Jameis Winston, who just got here this year and who's a backup quarterback and who just got thrown in there midweek or mid-game? I'm going to go with the receivers knowing what the play was on that one. So Jameis Winston, it really shouldn't surprise us that he's not playing. He didn't look good in his first half. And, hey, next man up mentality, that is your chance. You had a chance to go in there second half and go up and put up some points and touchdowns, and he didn't do that. So, yeah, let's try Taysom Hill out. This man's ready. This man buys in. He's a quarterback, but we've been using him as a gadget play, and he always seems to have like the best attitude on the field and on the sideline. So, yeah, let's give this man a shot. If Jameis Winston is not going to put in the effort, he knew he was the second string. You can go in at any single time. You need to be ready. Jameis Winston wasn't last week. So Taysom Hill, he gets the nod. I think I feel good for this man. Like, I want to celebrate this man, and I hope he does well. Because, he's kind of been that gadget play, and that sucks to know that you're a quarterback and they're only using you in gadget plays, and, Drew Brees is coming, to his point where he has to retire, and now you have Jameis Winston, who they just brought in, so you're like, man, I might not even play, like, actual quarterback here, like, I might want to leave, so this could be a good game for Taysom Hill. Hopefully he goes and seizes the moment. Hopefully he has a good game, not a too good game, because we do like Atlanta +4 this week, so we can let you win, but not more than 4, Taysom, so just keep that in mind when you are playing today. So that's just all the stories. Teddy Bridgewater out, and Taysom Hill is going to be starting still. All right, so let's go to DraftKings here. Let's refresh all these lines. While we do this, let's remind you what we did last week. We had a very good week last week in our picks, our official moneymaker picks. All right, when was last week? The 15th? Here we go. All right, this is what we did last week. Our locks were Dolphins -1.5. They won by a lot. We hit that one. Raiders -4. They won by a lot. We hit that one. Tampa Bay -6. They won by a lot. We hit that one. So all three of our locks last week hit. Fantastic. We're looking to do it again this week. And then our 99% guarantees last week were Texans +3.5. Hey, they cover by the half a point. When you're on the right side of betting, you hit. So we hit that one. Bengals +7. We were definitely wrong on that one. I thought Bengals would be a little bit more competitive in a division game, and I didn't think Big Ben was going to go through 4 touchdowns. So we were wrong on that one. I will admit it. I did not think the Steelers were going to go out and do what they did last week. I'm glad they did it, though. I am glad they did it. And then we had Bears +3. Very close. It was Vikings won by 6, so just a little hit and miss. The Bears, they just cannot score, and I was the fool for thinking that, this would be the game, that they just score a lot of points. They can't do it. They'll never do it. We are officially 100% off the Bears because of last week. We've bought into them too many times, and now we're looking like the clown, and now we've got to bail on it. When you make me look like a clown, we're going to bail on you. I don't like feeling clownish, folks. I don't like getting clowned. I do not like being the clown. No clowns when we're betting. Alrighty, and then that brings us to this week's picks. This is what we've got. Our locks are Packers +2. It's Aaron Rodgers, folks. Come on. And we're getting points. Come on. Cowboys +7. Browns -3. So those are our 3 locks. We're looking for those to hit. We feeling very comfortable. We hit all of our locks last week. We're going to hit them again this week, folks. And then in our 99% guarantee section for this week, we're going to do better than 1 and 2. We got Raiders +8, Dolphins -3.5, and the Falcons +4. So that's what we've got going on this week. We've got these bets, these lines officially updated. We do use DraftKings Sportsbook. We think they've got the best lines in the business, and we like giving them our business. So here we go. We're just gonna go through the lines, the games. Has anything changed? Are we still feeling good? We kind of give our initial reactions and predictions on Thursdays and Fridays, and now we've got more information. Teddy Bridgewater's out. Taysom Hill is officially starting. Let's see if our minds change. Let's see if we can find some good prop bets live. If you're listening right now, maybe last second bets that we're going to spit out at you that we do endorse that you can only get if you're listening live. If you're going to listen to the podcast version after, it's already going to be too late. If you watch it on YouTube, it's already going to be too late. So those of you who watch live daily, we're going to give you a little bit of help here on some great maybe last second bets that we haven't told anybody yet, and we do have some good ones. So with all that said, let's jump right into it. In the first game that's on this list is Steelers-Jags in the line. It started at Steelers -10, and it's climbed its way to Steelers -10.5. So no big movement. Everybody's, really kind of 50-50 on each side. And that's fine. I mean, we saw what the Jags did last week. 13-point underdogs and only lost by 3. Very close game. But, or no, they lost by 4, 24-20. But The Jags, I don't think they're going to be able to duplicate that performance. I mean, when we looked at how they scored all those points, it was kind of shorter fields. The Packers, they had a muff punt, a fumble, an interception. And the Jags, I mean, good for them for, converting and putting up points on most of those turnovers. That's exactly what you want to do. But when they have to drive the long field, when they have to rely on Jake Luton, they just can't do it. They don't put up a lot of points. They settle for field goals. So I don't see the Steelers turning the ball over. Big Ben doesn't do that. He, has been digging and dunking. Last week he opened it up. But even when he has been opening it up, he's not throwing the interception. So they don't turn the ball over. That's what the Steelers do best. The second thing they do best is their defense. I may even put their defense 1 and not turning the ball over at 2, however you want to arrange it. But I don't see the Steelers turning the ball over, and I don't see the Jags moving the ball. If they couldn't do it against the Packers, they're not going to be able to do it against the Steelers defense team. Folks, this is the best defense in the league. The Steelers defense is the best defense in the league. I will ride on that. I will die on that. That is the best defense in the league. So we do have to give up 10.5 for the Steelers. I'm not about it. It's just too much. I don't like to give up that many points. Even with the Steelers team, probably the best team in the league. I mean, we had them number 1 on our power rankings. But 10.5, I probably stay away from it, especially on the road. Especially what we just saw with the Jaguars last week. I mean, 13-point underdogs against Aaron Rodgers, and they only lose by 4. As I said, it was a lot of turnovers and, kind of blunders by Green Bay affecting Jaguars, giving them the short field. But still, it's just too much for my taste. Let's see if we get any good value here on my favorite prop bet. Points by a team in the first half. We have about a 75-80% hit rate on these folks. So let's see what we've got here. Jags are over 7.5 points in the first half, and the Steelers are over 14.5 points in the first half. Now here I can teach you guys some knowledge, some good advice when you bet these games. We see the Steelers here at over 14.5 points in the first half. Do not take that. You do not take anything over 13.5 because that's more than 2 touchdowns. You don't want that. There's not, you probably only get 3, maybe 4 possessions in a half. So, you want to kind of score on, 50% of them. If you're getting 3 possessions and you have to get 13.5, you need 2 touchdowns. So it just makes it iffy. Now, if we're talking 14.5, you need 3 scores. Now you have to start scoring on all 3 possessions, and 2 of those possessions have to be a touchdown. So we stay away from anything over 13.5. We like we like the 7.5s. We like the 9.5s. Certain teams I do like 13.5. So if I got Drew Brees, he had 2 touchdowns in the first half. I absolutely like it. So we're definitely going to stay away from these ones here. Steelers over 14.5. I don't trust anybody putting up over 14.5 points. I would not ever bet that. And then the Jaguars here over 7.5. It's a decent bet just because touchdown field goal, so you've got some good ways to get it there. But the Steelers defense is real good, folks, and I don't know if the Jags can put up 2 possessions here. Or, they might get in the red zone, may have to start settling for field goals. Now you're looking at 3 field goals. Can they get in the red zone 3 times? Can they get into field goal position 3 times in the first half against this Steelers defense? I don't know. I don't think you get anything. I don't think you get any good value here in this game, unfortunately. So my advice would be to just stay away from it. I don't like it. It's just a good team versus a bad team, so you get no good value in this bad team, Jacksonville Jaguars. They've got no real good silver lining. It's not like they have a really good quarterback or a really good running back or a really good wide receiver or a really good defensive end or corner. They really don't have any of that, so you can't rely on that one player to do anything. So Steelers, Jags, I think the best advice is to stay away from it. If we have to take the game, we do Steelers minus 10.5. We're going to count on the defense and Big Ben. Alrighty, Titans and Ravens. This one's been climbing slowly. We locked it in on Thursday at Titans +5, and it's all the way up to Titans +6, and I absolutely love it. We saw these 2 teams face in the playoffs last season, and the Titans won, and the Ravens said that they didn't game plan for Derrick Henry. I'm sure they will be game planning for Derrick Henry, but don't sleep on Ryan Tannehill. You really have to kind of, obviously you have to contain the run first, but you still have to keep tabs on Ryan Tannehill, because if he starts rolling out of the pocket, the play action, if Derrick Henry's having success early, the game's going to open up and you're not going to be able to, know if they're running or passing, and Ryan Tannehill's going to gouge you downfield because that's what he does. So in this Ravens team, they don't throw the ball down the field. So this Titans defense is just going to be playing pretty much at the line of scrimmage. No, everybody's going to probably be 10 yards in because this Ravens team doesn't go down the field. Now they can go down the field, and they should be going down the field because everything they run is just kind of 10 yards, read option, real close to the line of scrimmage. So this Ravens team, they're going to have to figure out their offense at some point. Is it going to be this game? I don't think so. The Titans, they cut their best, probably big defensive name. I think it was Jonathan Joseph at corner that they still had. A nice cornerback a couple weeks ago, and then they cut him right kind of after the trade deadline, a couple days after the trade deadline. They cut the man, and the Titans defense has actually probably been the best it's been since that cut. So the Titans defense is getting better. This offense is very good. They've had extra time to prepare. Do not, as I said it all week. I mean, the Titans on Thursday night last week, the special teams really ruined the game. The offense was very good up until that point. The defense was holding Phillip Rivers. I think they only had about 14, maybe 17 points up until that point. So they were holding them decently on offense, and then the special teams just got out of whack. So, I mean, we get the Titans here, who I think are very competitive against the Ravens. They may not be the better team than the Ravens, but we get 6 huge points. That's huge, folks. 6 points in an NFL game, especially with this Ravens team not putting up the points that they did last year, not being as explosive as they were last year, and this Tennessee Titans just being so consistent in putting up, 24 to 28 points a game. We get 6 here. I don't think I trust this Ravens offense that much just quite yet. So I get Titans plus 6. I love that. I love it. I love it. Excuse me. Were they in our picks? No, we left them out of our picks. This is probably like, if we had to choose a 7th pick, that would definitely be my 7th pick. Titans plus 6. It's a great number. It's a lot of points. This is a good team that can win. They've proven that they can be competitive against the better teams. They were very close against the Steelers. They beat, the Texans when the Texans put up, a huge amounts of points. So they can win games. I love this Titans team, folks, and we're getting 6. I absolutely love it. Let's see if we get anything good here on points by a team in the first half. We get the Titans over 10.5 and the Ravens over 13.5. Nothing great in value here. I think I do like the Titans over 10.5. I probably wouldn't rely on the Ravens over 13.5. You may be thinking to yourself, Lamar Jackson, 2 touchdowns, and that's all good, but this Titans defense, I think it's pretty good. I would buy this Titans defense. I really, 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 really like this Titans plus 6. I think that's the best bet of this entire game. Titans plus 6. Absolutely love it. Alrighty, let's move on, and here we are, Falcons and Saints, and this one started at Falcons plus 4, and it's dropped to Falcons plus 3.5 when the Taysom Hill news broke. So, Taysom Hill 1.5 for the Saints. Keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, I loved the Falcons plus 4, right off the rip. And now that we get Taysom Hill at quarterback, I even love it even more. And we've locked it in at Falcons plus 4. So, that's why you have to watch live, and especially on Thursdays and Fridays when we make our picks and, kind of give our first thoughts on the lines on Thursday. That's why you got to kind of watch every day, folks, to get the best value, because we're losing some value here. It's dropped to Falcons plus 3.5. So, I love this Falcons offense. It's absolutely fantastic. This is a division game. The Falcons are coming off of a bye. The Saints, a little bit, maybe the locker room isn't agreeing with Sean Payton's call with having Taysom Hill as a starter. Maybe some animosity on the field. Maybe it's been in the locker room. There's players been talking. Michael Thomas is like, man, Taysom Hill isn't going to throw me the ball. At least I know with Jameis, the man will sling it down the field like unfearless, because we've seen him do that in Tampa Bay with Mike Evans, another great wide receiver. So Michael Thomas is like, man, I'm not getting the ball from Taysom Hill, so he may be a little upset in this game. Falcons, their offense is very good, folks. I say it every week. Love this Falcons team offensively. I think this interim head coach is doing a wonderful job for the Falcons, and he really should be considered for the head coaching job. They've only lost 1 game and really has been competitive since the firing of Dan Quinn. And have I mentioned the Falcons are coming off of a bye? Absolutely fantastic. More time to prepare for the Saints. Saints coming off, a decent emotional win last week. So we get the Falcons here. Drew Brees is out, maybe a gut punch just until a gut punch to kind of the overall kind of a roster of the Saints with Drew Brees being out. Taysom Hill starting, maybe confuses a lot of people, and we get the Falcons plus 4 points, folks. Come on. And the Saints defense, I mean, they really hurt themselves. They've proven time and time again that they will give up, big penalties, the pass interferences, the holdings, the defensive holdings, all that. So, can't trust the Saints defense too much, and this Falcons offense is one of the better offenses in the league, despite their record. So I absolutely love the Falcons plus 4, and here it is. This is going to be our first endorsed live stream bet of the day, folks. It's going to be Atlanta over 10.5 points in the first half, folks. This offense is good. Expect maybe Taysom Hill to get a little too cute, turn the ball over. He may fumble even. We see this man. He's a kind of run better. He's a dual threat quarterback whose leg is better than his arm. We saw him sling the ball, 45, 60 yards yesterday, and that's all good and well. But in the grand scheme of things, in his college career, the completion percentage was absolutely atrocious for college even, and college standards it was bad. So I don't even want to know what his NFL completion percentage is going to be. He's going to have to throw the ball at least 20 times. Expect this man to throw the ball at least 20 times. Now, how is he going to look on those 20 passes? We'll look at that on Monday and on Wednesday. But absolutely love the Falcons here, plus 10.5. This Falcons offense can put up 10.5 points in the first half. Expect maybe a turnover to help that out even. But this Atlanta team coming off of a bye, expect their first drive to be very well done, scripted perfectly, executed even better, and they probably take their first drive down and score a touchdown. Now you have only got 4 points to deal with for pretty much the 7 minutes on until the end of the first half. So love it. Falcons plus 4, Falcons over 10.5. I love it, folks. This Falcons one is going to make us a lot of money this week, I feel. Alrighty, let's move on to Eagles and Browns, and this one started at Browns -3, and it's slowly climbing down a little bit to Browns -2.5. We know Myles Garrett's not going for the Browns, but that's really not affecting our decision too much. It's still Carson Wentz at the end of the day. He turns over the ball, not even being pressured. Yes, he turns the ball being pressured as well, but he still just makes the mental errors when there's no pressure as well. Now, the Eagles are coming on another road game. They were on the road against the Giants last week, division matchup. And I mean, folks, if you're not going to be competitive in a division game, what makes me think you're going to be competitive for a non-division game once again on the road? I just can't see it here. The Eagles are getting 2.5 points, 3 points. It doesn't matter. You could give the Eagles 7 points. You can honestly give the Eagles 9.5 points, and I think I still wouldn't even take it. Browns -9.5. I think I would take it. We cannot trust Carson Wentz. We still can't trust Phillip Rivers either, but we're talking about Carson Wentz right now. We cannot trust this man. This man turns the ball over multiple times. Yes, he didn't do it last week. Okay, congrats. You didn't do it for 1 week, but you're kind of averaging like 2 interceptions a game, very high to there. You're not throwing the touchdowns. It's not like you're throwing 4 or 5 touchdowns a game where when you throw 2 interceptions, you can kind of forgive since you just went out and, threw 5 touchdowns. So he's not doing anything like that. They're not putting up any really points. The Eagles' best thing is their run game. Their run ignites the pass. Folks, we've seen it time and time again. A big run kind of keeps them in. I'm talking about a 75-yard touchdown run. I think they have 3 75-yard touchdown runs in kind of big key situations this year. So that's the best thing that Eagles do. They run the ball. They're going to have to run the ball a lot, but the Browns run the ball even better. So I get the better quarterback in Baker Mayfield. How crazy is that? I'm saying this season right now, Baker Mayfield is better than Carson Wentz this season, and this season alone, I'll stand by that. The Browns have a better run attack. I mean, folks, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, best running back duo in the league. Kevin Stefanski over Doug Peterson. That's a close one because, Doug Peterson has kind of established himself, and Kevin Stefanski is a rookie head coach, but he's doing a great job game planning for some good games. Do not get bogged down by the Browns only putting up 10 points last week. It was a monsoon. They could not throw the ball. Houston could not throw the ball. Houston got held to 7 points. That should tell you everything you know about playing in a monsoon. You cannot throw the ball. So the Browns still at home this week. No monsoon, I don't think. I do not think there is a monsoon this week hitting Cleveland. So that should definitely help them. And I mean, the running game for Cleveland, I mean, if this is just going to be a run attack with the Eagles and Browns, it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I'm going to buy the Browns running a game over the Eagles. So we only have to swallow 2.5 for the Browns. I absolutely love it. It's our lock. We locked it in at Browns -3. Browns -2 obviously is even better because you don't get the hook on the field goal. You don't get that 3 hook. So Browns -2.5, I absolutely love it. Let's see if we get anything good here on the Browns or Eagles over points over in the first half. And look at this, they're both at 10.5, and I like the Browns here. Browns over 10.5 points in the first half. Are you guys crazy? This Eagles team cannot do anything. We saw the Giants score 2 touchdowns on their first 2 possessions against the Eagles last week. Folks, you're telling me this Browns offense is not as good as the Giants offense? I don't buy it. I think the Browns have more talent offensively than the Giants do, but the Giants just have a great coordinator in Jason Garrett. Let me get that Jason Garrett plug in there. But yeah, the Browns here all day and tomorrow. This Eagles team is just not good. Unfortunate. It's unfortunate because of they have won a Super Bowl in the last couple of seasons, and Carson Wentz is just trying to stay healthy for an entire season and try to be the guy, the franchise quarterback. So truly unfortunate for the Eagles here, but I think they drop another one. We're going to go Browns -2.5 here, -3, however you've locked it in at. All right, let's keep it moving, and we got Bengals and Washington in this one. I have no idea. I stay away from this game. I've been looking at this game all week, and I still cannot decide a winner, and I also still cannot decide a winner on the Panthers and Lions. And this one's going to come up in a second, and we see the line just changed hugely. But when we get there, we'll talk about it. But Bengals, Washington, Joe Burrow versus Washington. This Bengals team, they're still going to be without Joe Mixon, so Joe Burrow's still going to throw the ball 45 plus times. Washington, Alex Smith, how is he looking? Nothing too great. Couldn't beat the Lions, still turning the ball over a lot. This Bengals team is not good, though. I mean, when they're facing division opponents, they got absolutely obliterated twice against the Ravens and the Steelers. Just not competitive, not putting up points, and just getting ran on. They literally got ran on both division games. So we cannot take this Bengals team as true contenders. If you're not being competitive in division games, folks, when are you going to be competitive? So Washington's at home is probably the best green flag about them. Chase Young should be running down Joe Burrow. I mean, he passes it a lot, so Chase Young is going to be let loose a lot. Ron Rivera is a great coach. It's just 2 bad teams going at it. You stay away from it. Maybe you bet the home team. Let's see if we get any good value here with 1.5 here by a team. We get Bengals over 10 and Washington over 12. I do not like that at all. I do not like Washington over 12. I don't like Bengals over 10 either. I guess if you had to take one, I'd do Bengals over 10.5, but I don't endorse it just because they throw the ball a lot, so they have more opportunities for the big plays or the touchdowns, anything like that. But just overall, 2 bad teams. Just don't decide the better of the 2 trash teams. Find a better game. There's plenty of other games this week I think are way better to bet, way better, way safer. I think you get better value. You get no value here. Washington -1.5, Bengals +1. Am I going to take Bengals +1.5 points? Does that make me feel secure in my bet? No. I'd rather get Jets +9.5, honestly, because I think I do like that. That may be my 8th pick this week. If we're being honest, Jets +9.5 is my 8th best bet of the week, honestly. This bet here is just not even number 10, 11, 12. It's nowhere even on my radar. I stay away from it. Bengals, Washington, you get nothing. You'll get clowned. It will probably be a backdoor cover late in the game, late in the fourth quarter, a late second field goal ruins the bet. So I just stay away from it. Just no good value. No good teams. You can't get good value with trash teams. It's impossible. Alrighty, here we go. Patriots and Texans in another game I'm going to stay away from. I do like Houston here. They're at home. The offense was kind of held back last week because of the monsoon, and now they're finally in a fresh dome, back at home. Should be wanting a win here, and they're facing the Patriots, and this Patriots offense isn't good. I still don't like this team. I still, unfortunately, do not buy Cam Newton, even though that they beat Lamar Jackson and the Ravens last week. It was a monsoon. Both teams really couldn't do anything offensively. But you still got to give a little credit to the Patriots for actually winning the game. So we do that a little bit. But Patriots on the road this week. Houston, they've got a way better offense, but they are going against Bill Belichick. I still think I like the Texans plus 2.5 here. I think this offense is really going to get right back on track. Expect them to put up 30-plus points this week. Yes, even on a Bill Belichick's defense. That's the one probably silver lining, green flag for the Patriots this week is Bill Belichick being on the squad and still being the head coach. But this Patriots offense truly is not good, folks. You cannot buy Cam Newton. It is truly unfortunate, but you can't buy him. The overall offensive scheme of this Patriots team too, they've got no real good wide receivers, no real big weapons, no big explosive plays. They kind of play like the Ravens offense a little bit. Everything's kind of 10 yards inwards, a lot of read options, a lot of misdirections, a lot of running with Cam Newton. So don't expect a high-scoring game by this Patriots team. This Texans defense isn't great. They are losing Laramie Tunsil on the offensive line, so that is definitely going to hurt the Texans offense obviously a little bit as well. Laramie Tunsil isn't a great left tackle. I think the Dolphins got rid of him and stole the Texans' future because the Texans really gave us a lot of draft picks and a lot of equity for Laramie Tunsil, but I don't think he's a great left tackle, so with him being out, I don't think it's going to hurt the line too much. It's definitely going to affect it a little bit. It's a starting lineman being out. So it's going to hurt the Texans offense a little bit, but I don't think too much. It's Deshaun Watson. He can escape the pressure if the line is getting blown up. So yeah, I think I do like this Texans team plus 2.5. I think that's the better play here. Cannot trust this Patriots offense. I just can't. And so I'm definitely not going to trust it minus 2.5 points. I can't trust it to score. I'm not going to trust it to make up 2 points off the rip. So I do like the Texans here plus 2.5. This would probably be like my 9th, 10th best bet. I do like the Jets plus 9.5 better than that, honestly. Let's see what we get here for points by team in the first half. We get Texans over 10.5 and Patriots over 12.5. I do like the Texans over 10.5. I do not like the Patriots over 12.5. I do not like the way that this Patriots team scores. It's not Cam Newton throwing the ball. It's Cam Newton long drives, just running it in for the touchdown in the red zone, the misdirection, the read option. We've seen it time and time again, but we can't trust Cam Newton's arm, and that's just unfortunate. That's a MVP arm. That's a Super Bowl contender arm that we just cannot buy into anymore. How unfortunate is that? All right, let's move on here. We are now officially 30 minutes away from kickoff, and I cannot wait, folks. We've got a great week in the NFL. We've got some great games, truly, this week. All right, so let's move on here. We got Lions and Panthers and Bears. Oh, my. But Lions and Panthers, this is why I really wanted to. This was kind of my big message this week when we first looked at the lines of this game on Thursday, was just kind of wait until Sunday to bet this game, just because there were so many kind of up in the air. We saw kind of on Friday and Saturday names coming up for the Lions that are not playing. DeAndre Swift, Kenny Golladay, there's another one in there, Danny Amendola. So Matt Stafford's already going to have a limited offense, plus he's limited himself with a bad thumb, kind of got injured last week. So Lions offense is going to be a little shaky, and the Panthers offense is going to be shaky as well. No Christian McCaffrey, but we already knew that. The big question was Teddy Bridgewater. I thought he was going to be good to go. I thought he was going to be good to go this game, but he's not going to be good to go, folks. We just learned it an hour ago. 11:30 it broke. He's not playing this week. So we get bad offense in the Panthers, a bad offense in the Lions, but at least the Lions have their main quarterback, right? This one's real tough to call, real tough to call. I think we'd have to go the Lions here. I don't know what this Panthers team can do. I don't even know their backup quarterback. Let me try to figure that out. Let's go to the Panthers depth chart real quick, see who's going to be starting. I probably can't find it on Twitter, but I know I can get it quickly this way. So here we go. PJ Walker. That's right. I knew that, actually. PJ Walker, he was kind of that XFL quarterback that made a big splash. He did play a little bit last week. He did kind of get in for a couple of snaps last week. Let's see if I can bring up this game real quickly, see what he did last week. Forgot when they played. Were they 1 o'clock slot Panthers last week? No, were they 4 o'clock with Tom Brady? 1 second. We're loading. We're looking. Still cannot find it, unfortunately. And we're just gonna have to go find it the old-fashioned way. Alrighty, so here we go. Bucks, Panthers. PJ Walker. We're looking at the stats right now. And PJ Walker, what did he do last week? He went 2 of 4 for 12 yards. So, obviously, he was kind of thrown in last second in the game, late in the fourth quarter. The game was already out of reach, not expecting him to do too much, not asking him to do too much. But maybe I trust PJ Walker here. I doubt he had kind of a full week of reps with the starters here. I don't know how much Teddy Bridgewater, if he was kind of good to go in the middle of the week, like kind of mid-late week, they decided to bench him for this week. I don't know when that official call was made, so I'm not exactly sure how many reps PJ Walker got, but I think I'm going to go with the Panthers +3 here, folks. We get 3 points. Home team, Matt Rule has proven out to be a pretty decent coach so far. I'm kind of impressed with what he's done. Yes, they've only got 3 wins, but they're looking kind of sharp on offense. They're going on long drives, converting third downs. I think they had the best third down conversion in the league, even though they have only had 3 wins. So they're very close games. They're learning how to win. They're learning how to move the ball offensively. They're doing it without Christian McCaffrey. They've only had Christian McCaffrey for 2 games, folks, and they've lost. Did they lose both those games? They were week 1 and last week. They lost last week or 2 weeks ago with Christian McCaffrey against the Chiefs. Don't know about that week 1 meeting. But yeah, they're finding ways to win without Christian McCaffrey. The offense is looking good. The receivers are good. Teddy Bridgewater is good. The defense is decent. It's not great. It definitely could be better, obviously. But I think I am buying Matt Rule a little bit. So here, little adversity for Panthers to overcome. PJ Walker, this is probably going to be an ultra-conservative game plan offensively for the Panthers. So don't expect a high-scoring game. The Lions are not going to be going out and scoring the ball either. They have no offense to get the ball to. They can't run the ball. Well, they can't run the ball because Adrian Peterson is still going to be there, and he is still pretty decent this season. He's really kind of been the Lions starting running back for most of the season. They've just kind of recently worked DeAndre Swift starting, because he is a rookie, needed a couple games to get, acclimated to the offense. But an older Adrian Peterson, not as explosive as DeAndre Swift, but still explosive. He's still a decent running back. He's not at that kind of Frank Gore moment just quite yet. I don't think Adrian Peterson is. So I would kind of bet a little bit on Adrian Peterson to have a good game, but expect a lot of running the ball, low-scoring games, so we get 3 points. I think we may rock with it here, folks. This Panthers team still has good receivers, so hopefully they make it work with PJ Walker. PJ Walker is still a little bit of a dual-threat quarterback. He can make some good plays with his legs, kind of like Teddy Bridgewater can. So, I mean, I don't think this offense is going to take too big of a step back, maybe a little bit, but they're only missing their main quarterback, and they're just putting in PJ Walker. So, I think we're going to rock with the home team here, +3 points. It's a tough game to call, folks. Truly tough. A lot of key offensive pieces out for both these players, or for both these teams. No good value here, over 10.5, over 12.5. Still looking at, 2 big possessions, so not liking anything there. But we will endorse Panthers +3 for a live stream exclusive here. Who would have thought? Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. We're getting closer to kickoff, so let's try to speed through these a little bit more and get you all ready to go for kickoff. So here we go, Dolphins and Broncos, and Dolphins are still at -3.5, and we still like it. Yes, this Broncos team is better at home than they are on the road. Their defense especially is good at home. This mile-high air is the big question mark. How is Tua going to deal with it? That's the only question mark I have. I do like the Dolphins defense over the Broncos defense. I like Tua over Drew Lock. Drew Lock can't score until the fourth quarter, but this mile-high air, how is it going to affect kind of this younger squad of this Dolphins team? I've got no doubt in my mind that our head coach is going to have, the Dolphins kind of prepared to go in this game. We're winning games, 3 straight wins, feeling very good. And, the Dolphins are going to be looking to kind of do what we do, and that's defense, attacking the opposing team's offense, turning the ball over and scoring the ball, making it easy for Tua to score as well. So am I trusting Drew Lock here? I'm not. Against probably the 3rd best defense in the league, maybe even the 2nd. It's definitely top 3 in my mind. You can maybe put it 2nd or 3rd. It's your call. I definitely put the Steelers defense at 1, though. But Dolphins only giving up 3.5 points. I do like it. I'm not trusting Drew Lock with any points here, folks. He cannot play into the fourth quarter. He turned the ball over 4 times last week, and they were all 100% his fault. Bad reads, not seeing kind of, the zone player. He wasn't seeing that extra defender that was kind of right in front of him the entire time. So he just makes bad decisions with the ball. This Broncos team has no good pieces offensively. They got Melvin Gordon. Am I supposed to be afraid of him? Am I supposed to be afraid of Jerry Jeudy? I mean, Drew Lock has to get the ball to him in the first place, and he can't do that. So Dolphins minus 3.5. I think it's fantastic. Let's see if we get anything here in the prop bets. Broncos over 9.5. That's pretty appetizing. I'm not even going to lie. Touchdown, field goal, bingo, bango. Pretty easy there. Dolphins over 12.5. Expect maybe 1 turnover. You would probably want to root for 2 touchdowns, 14 points off the rip. But I know we will score at least 1 touchdown offensively, 2 touchdowns. It may get a little shaky just because we haven't seen Tua in a situation where he has to kind of carry the kind of scoring load himself, not getting, pick sixes from the defense, not getting help from the special teams, with the block punt, putting the ball at the 1-yard line. So just because we haven't seen Tua, kind of lead the point scoring just quite yet. Mile high air, maybe a little bit too much for him. So if our defense doesn't come through early, it could be a little bit of a shaky game. That's why it's in my 99% guarantee picks, just because I can see that scenario playing out a little bit. So we do still like the Dolphins over 3.5. Maybe not like the Dolphins over 12.5 just quite yet. Maybe, the offense takes a little bit to get acclimated to the mile high air, folks. It is a factor. You do have to factor it in. So that's Dolphins, Broncos. I'm still feeling confident on the Dolphins minus 3.5, though. Still feeling very confident. The Dolphins defense, folks, is one of the best in the league. Alrighty, Jets and Chargers, and I may sound like a crazy person here, but I like the Jets plus 9.5 coming off of a bye. Yes, they're working with Joe Flacco, but he's a serviceable quarterback and who's proven he still can perform decently well. Put up 27 points, moving the ball, looking good, not turning the ball over too much. So we get that with the Jets. Is he a huge upgrade from Sam Darnold? No, Sam Darnold's a little better than Joe Flacco, but still, overall the offense of the Jets and, Adam Gase, it's not too much of a factor by, dropping Sam Darnold for Joe Flacco. This Chargers team, yes, not Drew Lock, Justin Herbert is very good, but Anthony Lynn is not, unfortunately. I do not like the head coach for the Chargers just because they're losing close games, and when you lose close games, you have to start looking at the coaches and who's calling the plays and who's calling, situational awareness, and who's not getting the team hungry enough to close out games when they have leads. They've been having leads in most of these games that they kind of lose close in the fourth quarter. So can't trust the Chargers here, and we get 9.5 points for a hungry Jets team who's looking for their first win, who's also getting a little better offensively every week now that Adam Gase has relinquished offensive play calling duty. So we get a Jets team who's hungry. These are grown men looking for their first win of the season. Nobody really wants to go 0-16. Rarely anybody does. I think it's only happened twice in the league. I know it's definitely happened once. I'm a little sketchy if it's happened twice. But I get the Jets plus 9.5 points here. Games are close, folks. Chargers games are ultra close, so we get 9.5. Yes, the Jets are on the road, but they're coming off of a bye. Feeling good, feeling confident, looking for their first win, and I think this is probably the easiest game for them to get their first win in. So I get the Jets plus 9.5 points. I absolutely love it. We're going to give you another live stream exclusive 17 minutes away from kickoff bet here. And this one has moved up. I've never seen these climb in my life. I've also never really checked them on game day. But wow, this one, we've already locked this in at Jets over 7.5. It's now at Jets over 8.5. So, I mean, a full point, really, truly nothing different. I mean, you still need a touchdown and a field goal at least. Even with the 7.5, you need the touchdown and field goal. Even touchdown safety, you're good. 3 field goals, you're good either way. So not too much of a difference here. It's still just a point difference, but we've locked it in at Jets over 7.5, but we still like 8.5 as well. So Jets over 8.5 points in the first half, folks. That's pretty good. Don't like Chargers over 13.5. Maybe I like it if they open it up a little bit, but the offensive calling is a little conservative. Alrighty, couple more games out, and we are 16 minutes out, so let's try to squeeze these in. Packers, Colts, folks. This line's gone down too. It started at Packers +2. It's fallen down to Packers +1.5. So a lot of people are betting the Packers, and I think that's the better play. I get Aaron Rodgers versus Phillip Rivers. You make the call, folks. You make the call. Are we supposed to be impressed that this Colts team kind of beat the Titans late in the third quarter because of special teams, something that they didn't even kind of control? Yes, they cashed in on a short field, so we give them a little bit of credit there, but a lot of teams can cash in on short fields. Daniel Jones can cash in on short fields. Carson Wentz can sometimes cash in on short fields, so yes, Phillip Rivers can, but usually most of the time he's a kind of a lazy quarterback. Now he's going against kind of a huge matchup. These are kind of, 2000 legend quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is not going to be able to outduel Aaron Rodgers. It's just not going to happen. So I get the better offense here. I think I get the better overall team in the Packers. They are on the road, but they're in a dome, so they're going to be feeling comfortable. Aaron Rodgers is like, damn, I'm in a dome, y'all. Y'all know what that means. I'm going to air this bitch out. Who wants to air this bitch out with me? I got the Packers. I got them locked in at +2, +1.5. I think they went outright anyway, so you don't need the extra safety blanket. Packers, folks. Let's look at their points in the first half. If it's under 13.5, it may be good. Aaron Rodgers, 2 touchdowns in the first half. We see that. Oh, yeah. Over 12.5. I'm going to endorse this one as well. Another live stream special. Packers over 12.5 in the first half. I'm not too impressed with this Colts defense. I know when we were watching the game on, Thursday Night Football, last week, that this was one of the better defenses in the league, and they're like 3rd in points and like 5th in rushing and like 5th in passing or something like that, 3rd overall. I'm not impressed. I don't see that on a week-to-week basis. They showed me that stat, and I was like, I don't know if I agree with that. Yes, stat-wise it may all line up. I'm not calling them liars, but what I'm seeing with my eyes, I like to compare my eyes to the stats, and I trust my eyes a little bit over stats. I do trust that, but I still do look at stats a little bit. But Packers over 12.5, Packers straight up, Packers +2, Packers +1.5, folks. It's going to happen. You cannot trust this Colts team. You can trust the Colts team. You cannot trust Phillip Rivers, and, he's the quarterback. He's, the person distributing the ball, trying to put up the points. I don't trust it, folks. I do not trust Phillip Rivers. So I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers, the better quarterback, absolutely here. Packers. Cowboys, Vikings. This brings us to the best bet of the week, folks. Cowboys +7 off of a bye. Andy Dalton is ready to rock, folks. He's back in better than ever. He battled a concussion. He battled COVID. He battled a second stringer. He's ready to rock. He's ready to let it fly. Coming off of a bye, extra preparation, extra reps with the ones, with these star players, Amari Cooper, Zeke. Zeke's ready to eat as well. He's been turning the ball over. He's not going to turn the ball over this week, so I can guarantee it. I will guarantee Zeke does not fumble the ball once this game. And he's going against Kirk Cousins, who finally got a win on Monday Night Football. Shorter week for the Vikings. Run-heavy offense for the Vikings. Dalvin Cook not letting Kirk Cousins throw the ball too much. And I expect this Vikings team to still run the ball because that's really been working. And I expect the Cowboys to also run the ball, so lower scoring game. Game goes a little bit quicker. Clock keeps running. Cowboys +7. Love it. Mike McCarthy coaching for his job this week, folks. If he loses this game and he loses it badly, you fire this man right before Thanksgiving. We don't care. We'll have an interim coach on Thanksgiving Day for the Cowboys against Washington. They do not care. Cowboys +7, folks. That is the play of the week. Alrighty, that brings us to tonight's game. Raiders and Chiefs, and Raiders +7.5. And I've been seeing a lot of people liking the Chiefs -7.5. But I don't like it, folks. We locked it in at Raiders +8. It's coming down a half a point, as you guys see. But Raiders +7.5 is absolutely fantastic. They won their first meeting. They outscored the Chiefs in their first meeting. That's pretty impressive. It wasn't a defensive struggle where the Chiefs offense just could not get rolling, folks. They put up 32 points, and the Raiders put up 40 points on the road against this Chiefs team. That's pretty good. So now probably expect a little bit of a defensive battle this week. Probably not as high scoring as their first meeting. I mean, folks, when teams face each other, twice in the same season, And the first game's explosive and high scoring. The second game usually isn't. We just saw it with the Seahawks and Cardinals. Their first game was absolutely amazing. 30-plus points by both teams going into overtime, high scoring, a lot of high passing yards, and that had everybody fooled. I watched it. Because I never bought into the narratives, but I watched it on Fox when we were, the pregame. Everybody was like, "Oh, they're going to combine for 1,000 yards passing or 800 yards passing. Each quarterback's going to have 400, 300 plus yards passing," and it didn't shake out like that. So I don't think this Chiefs-Raiders game is going to be high scoring like the first matchup. Little bit of defensive battle here. Both teams, 20, 28 points probably in that range. I don't know if anybody goes over 30. It could be like 30-27. 30-25, 30-24, something in that range, but I don't think anybody scores higher more than 30 points. So we get the Raiders plus 7.5 or plus 8, however you locked it in, and we're going to take that lower scoring game, competitive game, close game, John Gruden, Derek Carr. I mean, this Raiders team is winning multiple ways. On the ground, they just put up 4 rushing touchdowns last week, folks. 4 rushing, good rushing touchdowns, not like, on the goal line, we'll rush it. They were, both those rushers put up 100 plus yards. Both those rushers scored 2 touchdowns. So they were absolutely fantastic. Derek Carr, he threw 3 touchdowns in that game against the Chiefs. He may have scored more, but I definitely know he scored at least 3 touchdowns, looking good. So I got the Raiders here, plus 7.5. Absolutely, folks. I get a lot of points. The home team division games are close. Division games are closer. We're going to take the Raiders plus 7.5. Plus 8 is our official pick because that's when we locked it in on Thursday, and that's why we got the Raiders plus 8 in our official picks. And then tomorrow's game, Rams-Bucks, and I'm still wrestling with this line, and I am going to take until tomorrow to give us our official pick because we can take that time if we need it, and we are taking the time. So Rams-Bucks, the Rams offense is good, but they don't put up any more than really 24 points. That is their ceiling, whereas the Bucks offensive ceiling, I'm telling you, is 50 points. So if we're going based just on offensive ceilings, you take the Bucks minus 4.5, but this Rams defense is pretty good. Primetime game could be a little bit more competitive, but Tom Brady on primetime, and he just figured out the offense, and he was putting up so many touchdowns last week, 4 in total, 3 passing, getting the ball to his wide receivers. Very impressive win by the Bucks last week, and they may keep it rolling. So I'm still wrestling with this line. Early leanings is Bucks minus 4.5. We will give you our official pick tomorrow on the show. We're not going to go into the over, points by team over in the first half for this game because we will look at that tomorrow, but early leanings is Bucks minus 4.5. Alrighty, we just covered every single game. We are 8 minutes away from kickoff. Let's see if anything's broke real quick in the last hour that we've been live. Doesn't seem anything has really broken. Jets rookie offensive tackle says, "We're not really looking at the draft. We just want to win one game." See, plus 9.5. I love it. They all just want to win one game. They're going to keep this game close, folks. Jets plus 9.5. I like it. I just can't trust Adam Gase. That's why it's not my official pick. PJ Walker is starting quarterback, as we said. We knew that. We've got really nothing else breaking, so I think we're going to be good to go, folks. Hopefully you can make some money this week. We made money last week. We are going to try and make money this week, folks. That's all we're trying to do here. That's why we go live every single day. That's why we look at something, kind of a different angle every different day. We're not just talking about Dak's contract here, or does he deserve to get paid, or who's better, Brady or Breeze. We don't really care too much about that. That's all. We're gonna get going. 7 minutes away from kickoff. Go enjoy your Sunday full of football. We've got some great games. And then, we get early football next week as well with 3 games on Thursday for Thanksgiving. So we'll be back tomorrow. We break down all the action. What did we see? Where we were right, where we were wrong, and we're going to break it all down tomorrow. So noon Eastern, we're here on Twitch. You can watch, live on Twitch. You can watch after on YouTube. You can listen after on podcasting apps, folks. So however you listen, we are here at Takes by Fans every single day. 6 minutes out from kickoff, we're ending it here. All right, we'll see y'all tomorrow, folks, where we tell you how we called every single game right this week. 100% right. We're calling it.